I'm Rose Smith from AbsoluteSoulSecrets.com, and I just realised the other day that we are having an early spring. So even though technically it's not spring for a few days yet, all the birds are going crazy, the sun is shining, and you can just feel it in the air. It's the time for manifestation. All the little ducklings are coming out. I have seen some little ducklings walking on the roads near where I live. So certainly is the right time now to be planning and thinking about what you want and what your true heart's desires are. So this brings me to the topic of mega manifestation. And manifestation, especially when it's a mega manifestation of what you really want, involves the law of attraction. Basically, in a nutshell, that law basically says that you get what you think about. What you're focusing on, you get more of. So it's really important to be watching what goes on in your mind. And it's a case of, good mental housekeeping. So if you find yourself being a little bit negative or down sometimes, a good idea is to just sit back and take a few breaths, get in a kind of a relaxed, altered state of consciousness if you can, and just see a magical rainbow or a waterfall even. A waterfall's really good because then you can wash away all the negativity. So I have found in my life, my own personal experience, that the more I focus on something, the closer I get towards it. Okay, so I'm going to talk about the law of attraction and mega manifestation in more detail. Some teachers and writers, if you go on the internet, you'll see there's a lot already on this subject, but it's kind of a bit wishy-washy sometimes, and they both basically say that if you focus on something enough, you'll get it. Well, kind of yes and no, not always the full truth. Now, let me give you an example of this. I've recently been overseas in America, and there's a lot of talk, going on about politics over there at the moment. And if I was to say that I really, really, really want to be the President of the United States of America, and I put all my effort and all my thought and all of my energy into that, do you think I could become President of the US? Well, actually, I couldn't. I haven't been born in the US. There is no way, legally, I can be President of the United States, not to mention, I don't really have the desire. I don't have any qualifications, although that hasn't stopped some people becoming president. So there's a lot of obstacles against me becoming president. So they haven't even had a female president yet. So, so I'm just using that as an example of something that's extreme. But some people might think that, they can achieve anything and everything. And unfortunately, there's a lot of teachers and writers saying you can do whatever you want. But the reality, the down-to-earth reality is no matter what I think, I'll never become President of the United States. It's just not possible. So this brings me to a point that's very important, and that's about being grounded and staying in touch with physical reality. Because it's all very well, that we could think that we want to have a certain goal and no matter what it takes, we're going to get that goal. But if it's not part of our soul's journey, it's not our life path or the mission that our soul has for us on earth, then it's just not going to happen. So I want to talk about realistic manifestation rather than just, anything like I'll win the lottery tomorrow or something. Although, of course, you've got 1 in 3.5 million chances of winning the lotto, for example. You could be playing it all your life and never win it. So it's important when you pick your goal, whatever it is, that it is in alignment with your soul's energy and in alignment with your true heart's desire, and it is also physically achievable. And the reason I say that is because if we pick a goal that is not achievable, we can get stuck for years and years and years putting energy into something, whether that be a relationship or a job or something to do with money. We can get stuck trying to make it real when it wasn't even the right target or the right goal for us in the first place. Okay, so being realistic is really important. being grounded is really important. And you might say, well, how do I get grounded? Well, there's, a number of different ways. For example, you want to eat, foods out of the earth, so vegetables, potatoes, pumpkin, perhaps meat. I know not everybody eats meat, that's a matter of personal choice. But yeah, you do need to eat good quality foods. You need to walk on the earth. Getting a dog is a great idea because they've got 4 feet and they've got their feet on the ground. So walking, doing yoga, going down to the beach and walking on the beach or in a rainforest is great. So it's about being grounded, it's about being in touch with practical reality, okay? So sometimes, a lot of psychics, or some psychics, they might be so far out in the cosmos that it doesn't have a lot of relationship to do with the earth. But we're here on earth and we're here for a reason, and that is to carry out our soul's mission on this planet. So that's different for everyone. Okay, so being grounded. Another thing, it has to be in alignment with your heart. So doing something that you're only like half-hearted about, not a good idea. So a way to find out, I've got a little thing I call my 8 out of 10 rule. If you get into a meditative space and just relax, you can send out a question to the universe and say, well, what's the energy around such and such, target or project or whatever it is you want to do. And then just wait for the answer to come back and just ask for it to be out of 10. So what's the energy around me going to the beach, for example, today? And I might get a 10, and that's like a yes. That's like a yes, I can go to the beach today. But if you get a 5 or a 6 or even a 7, it's like, sort of half-hearted. So that's not a good way to start a project. So when you're deciding what you want to manifest, make sure it's something that you get at least a minimum 8 out of 10 for. So another thing I would say is my 10% rule. This also helps. You want to choose a project or a target to manifest where you only have to push yourself 10%. If you make it too hard, you could set yourself up for failure, and that will really impinge on your confidence and self-esteem. So don't set big projects like becoming the President of the United States, because they're just too big and they're not easily achievable. So you want to achieve something and then tweak your idea after you've achieved it and go again. So pivot and tweak so you can update and break things down into small chunks so that they're achievable. If it's a really big idea, break it into small chunks and then you can actually do it. So that's my thoughts for this month, September, and I hope you find it really helpful. Just get into a meditative space as often as you can and be mindful. Take a few deep breaths and be mindful of what's going on in your mind. Okay, have a great month and I'll see you next month. Bye for now.